Hey, how's everyone doing? My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and today in the daily draw, I'm going to show you how to draw this Christmas train. We're going to look at perspective. I'm going to show you a trick how to put uh, cars back in perspective. We're going to look at the smoke. That's an interesting little study up there. And we'll do a little bit of composition as well. Wow, all that wrapped up, right? So, listen, I am so glad you're here. This is typically my daily draw class, and it is usually a private class that I teach Monday through Friday for about 30 to 40 minutes with the intent that you will pick up the habit of drawing in a couple months of doing this faithfully with me. We go over 5 different areas of subjects throughout the week. Monday, we look at something that is a landscape or natural. Tuesday is usually something man-made. Wednesday, we do a deep dive into portrait drawing. Thursday is character design, and Friday is animals. So let's see. So here we are. So today what we're doing actually is we're going to be drawing this train, part of the Monday landscape, but just so that you know, in the last, I'd say 2.5 months, we've been doing these mini landscape drawings, and I've got a bunch of them framed right over my shoulder here. Let me grab one and show it to you. So this is one that we did a couple weeks ago, this sailing ship, and there's a whole variety of different small mini landscapes. I mean, these things measure about 2.5 by 3.5, and that was really the point of them, is to make these really cool ballpoint pen landscapes. And we're going to finish it up today drawing this Christmas train. So I think it would be very appropriate. And if you've never drawn with ballpoint pen, boy, I'll tell you, it is it's something good to get it's something worth getting good at. Okay, so let's do this as a group here. I have my pad in front of me, so we're gonna make a 2.5 by 3.5 rectangle, and I'm just gonna visually, because I want to have some room here to frame this thing up when we're done. So I'm going to just kind of visualize about the center here. That looks pretty good. And we'll move this over a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to come right across the top here at 2.5. I'm going to put a little mark just like that. Let me slide that over a little bit. I just have a little card here. This is going to end up being my square. So I'm going to put that right here, and then I'm going to come down 3.5. It's going to be right about there. All right, same thing. I'm going to come over here using my square, my little corner piece of cardstock here. Measure this 2.5. I'll put a little mark here like that. Looks pretty good. All right. And if this measures out to be 3.5, it does. I was very successful at drawing this square. Now, one thing I like to do is once I've put my hard line in, I'm going to quickly freehand right on top of this. And what this will do is make it look almost like it's hand drawn, but the straight lines help kind of like an underlying structure that, kind of gives it, oh wow, that looks hand done, but yet it's all straight. So, and you can see, look at this. I made a little mistake here, but it's no big deal because this will probably get covered up with some type of line work. All right. Other thing too about using a ballpoint pen is you just have to, like, I happen to use, this is a Bic round. I always like to use a medium pen. That way I can have a thick line and then a thin line, and we just push and pull, and we should get a nice variation in line with that. Okay, so first thing I want to do is looking at my picture here, I'm going to put a horizon line at the at 1/3, all right, 1/3. Let's come across here about 1/3. Just get something light like this. You could see it. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Now, why did I do thirds? Let me grab a notepad here, or a little post-it note. Do I have any up here? Yep. So, simple composition, and it's not that complicated. If you have a horizontal, just put this in the back of your mind and always remember it. And if you do this every time, you're going to have a great composition. And it's called the rule of thirds. So I could take a vertical and divide that by thirds, or I could take a horizontal and divide that by thirds. And then you actually can bring it down to one more section where it's thirds this way and thirds this way. This is called the rule of thirds. So how does this work? So let's say I had this picture here. I'm going to make a little smaller version here, right? And and I wanted to like make a scene. Let's just say a forest scene per se. Well, in this third over here, I might drop a tree. You see, and then up here at the 2/3 right here, this is where my little people might be walking. And the path that they might be walking along is going to be something like this, you see? So this would create a rule of thirds, and this would be a very interesting picture, okay? The key is this is where you want your main subject matter, in one of those areas, okay? If I had this back here, all right, let's see what's going on here. Let's just say, you could let's just say that for whatever reason this was a wave coming in, right? Look at that. And then back here, maybe you had this little island or something, right? Well, look at the tip of this wave is right there at the 2/3. And then this whole back end of water is falling in this whole area. You see what I mean? So that's the first thing with composition. So in our picture here, we've got a horizon line, and then the front end of our train is going to be over here on the 1/3 side. So that is an excellent way to get some good composition. All right, that's number one. And we'll hit up the others as we get there. So I have my horizon line here. Now let's just come over here, and I want to just kind of put the pen here, and I'm gonna make the back end of the train. All right, so there's the back end of the train. And we're gonna imagine the train tracks are right about here. Okay, so let's come over here, and from this corner, let's go up to right about here and put a little mark, and then a little bit higher, not much. This is gonna be the other location of the other train track coming in. All right, back at train right now. If I take my pen and I kind of visually kind of hover it right in the center of the paper, let me look at the picture there and kind of take a guess. What is right exactly halfway in between the picture. What is there an object that you see on this train that would say it's at the halfway point? Well, I think it's that copper, and I don't know if it's a boiler or whatever that copper thing is. You see that right at the top of the steam where they keep all the water? You see, I think that's at the center. So most of if we come over here and just drop just a little marker, a little line, this is where that copper cylinder is going to go, and then the rest of the train is going to be between here and here. Wow, is that amazing? So now let's look at, you see the round circle and then the edge of the train. So if I'm saying that is here, I'm going to say my round circle is about there, and I'm going to go right about here. Let's see now. Let me just look at the bottom of this corner is almost lining up with there, and the top is definitely much higher. So there we go. I'm taking measurements now. Okay, so this is the main engine here, the housing compartment. So right to the right of this line here, make it small. Now this is not very wide. Do something like that. And then you could take a line there. Take a line there. This whole thing is the whole side of this train. Wow, can you believe it? Here's our little trick number 2 I want to show you, okay? Let's say this is how you put a train in perfect perspective. So let's say if you had a square like this, all right? If I wanted to find the center of that square, all I'm going to do is connect, all right? That's going to give me the center. Now, if this was in perspective, it would be like this. You see, this is going back in perspective. If I want to find the center, I use the same idea. I just do this. And that's the center of that square in perspective. Okay, so here's the fun thing, all right? Let's just say this was a side of a train, and I want to put another train car right behind this. It's in perfect perspective and the same width, the same size car. How do we do that? Well, you would come over here. I'm going to put a little arrow, and you're going to mark right a center point right there. Then you're going to come up here to this corner, and you're going to put a line between these, just like that. All right, so this is the line that all of these cars are traveling, just like this. When you follow this down, and it hits right there, you go straight up, and that's your second car. Let's add one more car here. So we're going to find the center, go up to the top corner, and that right there is your second car. So these cars are all the same size, but they're just going back in perspective. Okay? You could use the same technique if you were having to do fences. So here's a fence, here's a fence, here's a fence, right? That's going to be the center of the fence. You go here, boom. If this was in perspective, watch. how we come right through the center. And this is how, and you just keep doing that. And that's how you get that in perspective, all right? Okay. You may have to rewind the video to get the whole grasp of that, but that's essentially it. So, what do we have here? So we've got the corner of our train. All right, so let's come down, and this is going to be our first determination from here to here. Let's divide this in half. This is our first train car. Let's come down here and put a little dot at the halfway point. Then don't make a line here. Just do this visually. I'm going to come right down here like this, and boom. There's my second train car. And then this will be my third back here. So let's get these windows in. You see the windows on the train? That's going to help us visualize what's going on here. So very lightly with my pencil, with my pen, I'm going to come up here like this. I'm going to zoom in here. Let's see. Can I zoom in more? Yep. So now I'm just going to take my pen and that's all we need. All we need to suggest the side of that train. Let's get some engine. Let's get some of these wheels down here. So I'm going to just come here. Okay, the wheels are going to come all the way over here. And I'm really not drawing them. I'm just adding dark shapes down here. And believe it or not, those will look like wheels when we're done. Okay, so this right here is the front of the train. So let's come over here now. And we can't really see the far corner of the front of the cab there, but I'm going to guess I'm just going to kind of take a shot and guess it's right about there. It might be, I'm going to push mine out a little further, and that's okay. This will get covered up here. So this is the width of my main cabin here. Look, the circular window is going to be right about there. And what I want you to do is, on that circular window, is I want you to come in here with a light tone and then work back in there a negative shape like this. Now it looks like a person, maybe a conductor is sitting right there watching what's going on, right? Okay, let's get the here's the edge of that window. What do they call what do they call this round thing? Is this the boiler? The boiler, that's what it is. Okay, so I'm going to make a circle right like this. Keep this light. That might even be too big. All right, so this is going back in perspective here. It says a single vanishing point generally. So here we're gonna I'm gonna visualize about where this vanishing point is. And now I got to draw the front, the very front, the front of this train that says 115D, maybe 15D. All right, so let's do that. So we're gonna now using this, we're gonna draw a bigger circle right like that. Okay, now I'm going to come in here now. Now I'm not going to include the wreath. I'll tell you why, because it's going to blend. There's not enough value between the green of the wreath and the black. So it will just blend in. If I was painting this, I would put it in, but those those two colors or hues are too much of the same value. So it's something that is just black and white. It would never show up. Okay, there's this little silver, look at this here. There's a silver platform that they could walk along. So we're going to just pop that in like this. And I can see it showing up over here as well. All right, I think this is called a cow catcher. The red grate at the bottom. So let's come in here, and the top of this cow catcher is going to fall right below the boiler there. You see that? So let's come in here. There's a angle here, another angle over there. Now let's look where that cow catcher is, where that scoop is. Where's that scoop lining up? Well, it's lining up exactly with this right there. You see that? And it hangs out kind of way over here. Where does this corner line up? This corner lines up almost right there. See this corner, if I go straight up, lines up with that copper bellows, or that whatever that is, that we haven't added that to the top, but that's pretty wide. And then the scoop that's coming out, it's going to kind of follow this direction right there. And then this one is coming over here like this, you see? I'm going to ignore this hookup. All right, so I'm just going to come in here now. Okay, so this right here is the side. Right here, that's the side of the main cabin here. So let's see what we have. We've got this roof line is going back in perspective. If I come down here, that's kind of going back. And I'm just going to fill in a square here. To be that window on the side, you see? Look at these wheels here now. Oh, look at that. Boy. I kind of got off on here, but that's okay. We'll adjust that. So let's get our rails in place. So there's one. There's two. You know, you adjust things. If you get off a little bit, no big deal. You just adjust them. Okay, so there's a couple other items here. There's this little, I'm just adding some detail now. We've got this little layer here. And then in front of that, you know, all this is like, this is going back in that perspective. All of this is those gray wheels. So we're just going to do some shapes. Don't have to worry about all the details there. Okay, we've got two big drums in the side. Look at that. And another one underneath that. See, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to give an idea. Okay, so the front end of this train is darker than the reflections on the side here. So let's add a tone here. This is the front of the, before we add the tone there, let's get this light here, okay? This light on the top of the train. Okay, look where that big, this has a little bit of a side to it as well. All right, that smokestack, where's it coming? It's coming out here like this. How high is it coming? Wow, it's really high. So we're coming up there like this. Got that red dome here. And they've got that copper one back here like this. Front of this caboose, this cab, this is darker value because you're turning the corner. So let's just draw a tone in there, just like that. Behind the main cabin here, look at this. There's a tone back here. Let's drop this. Let's put that in as well. All right, I'm going to get some more value underneath the main engine component there. Also, I'm going to put some value up on this smokestack. There's some like round, look at that. This is going to help give this some structure here, you see? All right, let me zoom out now a little bit. Now let's get some of the context here of this train. Okay, so let's talk about the smoke here. Now think of the smoke as layering. So you're gonna come up. If I was to try and help you to visualize this, I want you to think of this as like layers. It's almost, it's almost like this. See, that's the way your smoke is going. So we're going to want to go slowly here and really use the sense of overlap when we build the smoke, and we want to think more of volume. Okay, so let's start off with a containment line and make this very light, very light. So just watch what I do here first. All right, I'm going to, very light, I'm going to come up here and I'm just looking for the outside shape of the smoke. And then right here, look at this now. This is gonna kind of overlap, but it's gonna follow in this direction here. We're going to go a little bit long today. I know we're at, where are we at? We're at 40 minutes. I just saw it someplace. So just hang in here, okay? Oh, I see it. Yeah, we're at 37 minutes right now. Okay, so starting at the smokestack, let's use some, let's just come up here like this. Look at this. This is going to, some action lines. It's going to, action lines are going to give the sense that, there's like power coming right out of the top there. And I'm also going to add a little bit of a tone here. In fact, I'm going to come in here and add a little bit of tone for all of this. And right now, it could be flat. Look how flat that looks. This is going to change here in just a minute, but we need to have some value here that's going to separate this from the rest of our picture. All right. Let's start right here now. Now, just break this down. Look. Big, small, small. Big, small, small. Big, small, small. Now, right here, look, I've done two of these. And if you look at our picture, now we're going to change the direction, and I'm going to bring this out like this. And so we're going to come out with another one over here. Small, small, big. Another one maybe. Another one. All right, maybe come around here. Small, big, small, big, small. Okay, another one here maybe. Look closely at the picture. All right, now we're going to get a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter. All right. Now I'm going to use surface lines, and I'm just using these little teeny scallops, almost like this. You know, oops, to describe the form, like you were going over the top of that smoke. You're going around the whole. I'll let you finish up here. Now our light is somewhat diffused here, so we don't have a clear light source because it's so cloudy. But what I want you to do now is come into this and add a little bit darker value. Especially on the bottom. See, this will give that smoke a lot of volume and mass. Okay, look at this. There's this gorgeous tree over here. So let's come up here now. First, I want you just to take your pen lightly. And I want you just to lightly kind of, you see, I've kind of given myself a little bit of a guideline here. So now I can keep my eye on that guideline. You get a nice tree here, you see? And then this thing's going to have some tone and value to it. So we can... And you can come in here a little bit darker, not much though, because this is, you want this to kind of be set back in space. Our main contrast, we want the right side of this locomotive to be super black, super dark. So over here, we're going to just, there might be some twigs in the ground or something, but we don't want to get much darker than that. Okay, underneath this train, there's going to be some shadows, so let's add a little shadow there. Let's add some little value to this dome here that's in front. All right. Now this train track, of course, is up on a hill. So let's come down here. Now, this is the bottom of the hill. This is where all those... Where's this? Look at this. It's coming way over here. You see this? So we could just really push yourself to push this bottom of the hill, this gully. See what I did just then? So this is coming down this way, and then this, look at that. Look at those lines. These are surface lines, and I'm really defining that this is going to go up. There's some steam coming out at the bottom here, so we could just, make some little marks like this. And then if I look closely now, look, this is going to get a little bit darker from all those leaves that are on the ground over here. And then up close here, look at this. We've got some ground that's showing up through the snow here. So these are like really close to the viewer here. So we can make these little grasses a lot larger. Than the ones down here. Down there in the little gully there. All right. I like there's some trees back here. Look at this. Trees back here, some bushes. So we'll just add some tone. There's some trees back here. I'm just going to add some value. And there you go. There's our tree. There's our train picture. I think we got it. So with that being said, now I'm going to just I'm going to slide this around here because I want to draw from left to right, and I want to define this. I want to define this edge a little bit more there, and define this edge as well. Okay. I'm just adding just a little bit more shadows underneath these the smoke. And that's going to do it for us. There it is. I hope you enjoyed doing that. You know, oh, one more thing I want to do. As I just look at the picture over here, look at this. You've got these trees in the background here. So I'm just going to go very lightly with my pen, just like this. Ooh, that's nice. And then I think one last thing, I'm gonna add a little more value to this tree up front here. This is gonna help separate it from the trees in the back there. All right, there you go. Hey, I do thank you for all watching. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and this gives you a little sample of what we do every day in the daily draw. We usually use a pencil, but on Mondays we've been using ballpoint pen. Thanks for watching, everyone. Go out there, make your day great. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.